today's demo, Mushroom Musume takes us on a dark fairy tale, choose your own adventure style journey. I am so enchanted by this game. It really is the perfect way to wind down the evening raising a mushroom daughter, and I love that while this game has lots of cute and charming moments, it absolutely draws from its grim fairy tale inspirations. So I hope you're settled in, whether you're about to start some chores or just relaxing, maybe doing some crafts, and I hope you enjoy this demo playthrough. Let us create a mushroom daughter. I'm very excited. Once upon a time, there was a humble recluse. Though they had no need for society, they did often find themselves home to a loneliness that they could never quite shake. I just want to take a moment. I love the art and the borders and just, oh, and we have a track listing. Oh, that's cool. In the morning, the sun would rise. At night, it would set. The recluse would observe this splendor, knowing that the sight would be made all the more beautiful by having someone to share it with. Isn't that right? It wasn't that they desired a relationship. Perhaps it was a flame that had burned them one too many times, or perhaps they were simply disinterested. No, a child. That's what they wanted. Someone to take care of, to teach. Unfortunately, it was a longing that could not be found. Not in these woods, alone. However, we are never quite alone as we think, are we? One day, a witch appeared, as if drawn by the intensity of the recluse's desire. The lumber that the recluse had spent the morning gathering slipped through their hands as they spotted her, the witch of the woods. She began to speak.
You desire a child, yes? For some these are quite easy to come by, but not you, it would seem. Let us make a deal then. If you do 3 simple chores for me, I will present you with a daughter of your very own.
The recluse, caught up in a moment of naivete, quickly agreed. Oh my gosh, yeah, agreeing to a witch before listening to all the terms? A daughter checklist. Task 1, task 2, task 3, meet daughter. Yay! The witch, knowing that the recluse was destined to accept, simply nodded and began to deliver the first of these so-called chores without hesitation. Oh my gosh. I love that these are like photographs, pixelified.
Your child will come into this world with little to her name. Let us even the scales. Bring me an heirloom, something she will forever value.
The recluse thought on it briefly, searching through their home for the object that they had pictured. Ooh, and here the gameplay begins. So this is a game of choices, and the choices we make are going to inform the daughter that we raise and her life. So, oh, I'm very excited. An old bottle of medicine that has sat unopened. A hair bow from your previous daughter. Whoa, that is some lore, if we choose that. Blackened with age. A dark, weathered tome. Honestly, this one got the biggest reaction, so let's go with it. It was a dark little thing. And I feel like this is twisting the story to be a little bit darker overall, where it's like, I want this daughter, and yet I can't let go of my first one. Maybe I haven't moved on, and this is like, oh, I think that's such a cool, yeah, I like that we're able to generate this story with it. It was a dark little thing that the recluse had kept as a painful reminder for many years. Though it hurt to look at it, it felt fitting. They would not repeat the same mistakes this time, they thought. Gained trait, lost sibling. Bringing their prize back to the witch, she simply gave a smile. How perfect. After their brief detour to meet with the witch, the recluse resumed their normal day-to-day schedule. The second day. The recluse slept more soundly that night than they had in ages. Having a purpose again soothed them, even if they had found themselves caught up with a witch. See, and that's the thing. It's like other people, you can find purpose on your own, but I think other people provide us with additional avenues for purpose that are that move beyond us. And I think that's also important. It's important to want to do things not simply for yourself, but for others. So that's cool. I'm happy for the recluse. They elected not to think about that, though. Instead, when the morning came, they simply did what they had to do, which is to say they got up and went to meet with the witch. Upon watching the recluse's approach, a sardonic smile lit the witch's face. You completed your first task admirably. 2 more, and I can finally give you what you want. She paused only for a moment before delivering her next message of import. It is important for a young person to be well grounded in this world, I hear. Bring me a jar of soil to help with this process. Keep in mind that not all dirt is the same, though. Consider the source carefully. Soil? That did sound somewhat magical, the recluse supposed. Left with this vague prompt, they considered their options. The witch's own front yard, a quiet graveyard, a barren spot, a forest long since struck by some invisible ailment. Oh, that sounds ominous. And I love these images. We have like little icons that go with each one. And I think maybe if I had noticed, I would wonder if some of the icons match up. Let's do a quiet graveyard. The walk to the gravesite was quiet. When the recluse arrived, they looked down at the grave of their mother. Perhaps this child wouldn't be related by blood, but she could be related by dirt, if nothing else. Wow, this kid is going to bear the weight of a bit, because I am giving so much of my own, like my previous daughter, my mother. Like this kid is... There's a lot here. I'm like, this is a bit heavier, instead of getting things that are separate, Arriving back at their meeting place, the recluse was excited to share their selection with the witch.
So that's what you picked, eh? Very well, it shall do.
Feeling the need to scrub their skin, the recluse retired to their hut to cleanse themselves. The third day. With 2 assignments complete, the recluse could feel their excitement grow. If this witch was being honest, and for some reason they felt that she was, then that meant this could be the last night they spent without a child. They hoped so, at least. That was all they could do. Barely remembering to get dressed, the recluse dashed to the meeting spot. Again, the witch had been waiting there for them.
Welcome back, recluse. Are you prepared? Today is your big day, is it not? The last task is an easy one, or at least I believe so. Bring me something colorful, something bright that you think will suit her.
When they were first told of the 3 tasks, the recluse had imagined things that were much more difficult. This seemed so easy as to be a trick, which they supposed only meant they should take it seriously, as if a mistake could mean death. With death in mind, the recluse needed to decide where to search for color. A field of flowers or a stony river? I'd love a field of flowers. That just sounds so nice. If someone wanted color, where else was there to even consider? The recluse decided to make their way to a particularly idyllic field of flowers. The field was filled with an overwhelming amount of choice. Before long, the recluse narrowed the options down to a few. The stony brook or the stony river would have been nice because the rocks all have different textures and colors too. We have forget-me-nots, light-hearted blue flowerets. Milkweed, the bright orange herald of the butterflies. Ooh, I do love milkweed. Foxglove, purple bell-like blooms. What's that? A pumpkin! Bleeding hearts, sanguine and symbolic drops. I really like milkweed, the herald of the butterflies. A pumpkin is pretty dang hilarious, though. You know what? We're gonna do it. It made me laugh. A pumpkin. It's not a flower, the recluse figured, but perhaps that's okay. I mean, okay, here's the thing. We didn't ask for flowers. We wanted color, and pumpkins are colorful. Their daughter would be unique, like a single gourd sitting proudly in a field of daisies, just like the pumpkin in their hands was before they took it. Ooh, spring. New color palette. The recluse returned to the witch's hut, colored item in hand. She silently took the object, nodding her head to the recluse in recognition. The recluse stood there for a moment, unsure, before finally the witch realized what they expected. "Oh, you want your promised daughter, don't you?" Her voice was almost mocking, but at least it was not overtly cruel. "I suppose I must tell you that I lied, human. I do require several more trifling things from you. First is the matter of payment." The recluse should have known that everything is for a cost. Pay me now with wealth. Pay me now with life. Oh, shoot! I didn't mean to click on that. I wonder what the others would have been. Dang. Intense. They told the witch that they would offer life as payment. Certainly. She's stepping forward. She took them in a cold yet not unkind embrace. Am I just dying now? They awoke hours later with an uneasy feeling that something was missing. The witch was still there waiting for the recluse. I wonder if she took years off the end of my life. What was that? With the payment settled, the witch simply smiled and handed the recluse a small pot. Humans are tricky, but mushrooms are much more resilient. Consider this an upgrade. Don't worry, eventually she will develop a mind. Simply give her time, as much as she needs. Soon your wish will be in full bloom. I suppose, though, with all that settled, there is one last thing for you to consider. A young girl needs a proper name. The recluse thought on the witch's demand before offering the final thing they had to give. What is her name? Oh, that's a tough question. I wonder, pumpkin seeds, I think, are called pepitas, like the pumpkin seeds inside it. So since she's my little seed, I will call her Pepitas. Or Pepita. Yeah. I think that's how you spell it. I hope so. Then she walked away, only fate knowing if the two should ever meet again. Chapter 2. Cultivation. Though the recluse was unsure of the specifics, they did realize that it was important to heed her instructions. Care for the pot and the dirt and everything that lay within. So, the recluse geared up, as any parent should, and assessed the things they needed to raise a child. Finances, in case the nearby village had goods or services that you could not provide. Nutrients for the child to help it grow strong. They would need plenty, as it would be depleted on a daily basis. And finally, the recluse's own stamina could not be ignored. One cannot burn the candle from both ends indefinitely. Thus began the longest growing season of the recluse's life. Oh, okay, so here, let me quickly turn off my face. So I have behind me stats, nutrients, finances, and stamina. I have such low stamina, and I think that might have been what I gave up towards to the witch as cost inadvertently. That was not intentional. And then you have the almanac, which I don't know what that is. Oh, Mushipedia. Mushipedia. Sheet music, music boxes. Oh, that's cool. Very nice. Endings discovered. Whoa. Okay. Cool. So yeah, you have the almanac, you have the stats, and now I will turn my face back on. Wahoo. And on this side we have our season, we have the mushroom, and then info. What's info? Ah, traits. Potted, lost sibling. You carry a reminder of a sister you have never met. Cute. Pepita, pumpkin mushroom. Cute. Okay, how do I exit out of here? There we go. Recently, you've begun to think about your daughter's living quarters, specifically her pot. You have a few ideas on how to improve it, but you only have so much time. Which do you decide to move forward with? Infuse this soil with a drop of your own blood? Buy some fancy substrate. Okay, I do recognize these symbols, so they are kind of helping us categorize the type of mushroom we're growing. Decorate the pot. Ensure that her soil remains ever damp. Use your cooking scraps as compost. That sounds nice. Recently, when cooking, you've noticed some waste. Perhaps the peels and scraps that you normally throw into the woods could have a better use. You begin to place small fragments of your meals in a special bin. It almost feels as though you're sharing a meal with your daughter, and that thought brings you warmth. Ooh. And my nutrients is now 12 from 8. Hopefully she likes your cooking. She'll have a lot of it in her life. Her quality of life having been improved, life continued. All right, stamina is down. Or not down, it looks like there's like a little animation, like looked like it was reducing. Oh, it was the nutrients. So I went from 12 to 10 because it was a new day. One day you awake slightly earlier than usual. In your somewhat somnambulant state, you hear an ethereal croon originating from your garden. When you go out, you spot it. A small fairy clad in pumpkin is sitting amongst your crops. Catch the fairy to sell in town? No. Build a small fairy garden in your daughter's room. Offer a coin to the fairy to gain their favor. Hunt the fairy? No. Let's build a small fairy garden, maybe? Without delay, you quickly gather your supplies. Greenery, some common foods, hell, throw in a drop of blood. They love that sort of thing. After consulting some books to ensure that it's an appropriate space, you lure the fairy in with treats. Though they seem unsure at first, the fairy eventually accepts your offer of a home. Ooh. Oh, but the nutrients went down again. Though your daughter is not yet old enough to appreciate this pet, you're sure she will in time. Ooh, fairy familiar is a new trait. The decision being made, life continued. Something's happening. Mushroom creature. Oh, all right. Hello, daughter. Your daughter has changed in the night. Oh, jeez. Are you okay? This is wild, that picture. One day you awaken to the sound of rustling movement and find your daughter has grown enough to be capable of rudimentary locomotion. The creature slinks around uneasily, and a cute little face now greets you on her once featureless body. Her demeanor seems gloomy and shy, preferring to sit in dark corners for long periods of time. Encourage her discretion. Spend time nurturing her environment. Motivate her to do something safer. I'll nurture her environment. I think I want to let her be herself. That's really funny. I also like to sit in dark corners. Not necessarily be gloomy, but I like to sit in my corners and read and play video games. You decide that now is the best time to promote her growth, spending extra effort improving her living conditions. Ooh. Your daughter seems to appreciate the attention and emotes cheerfully. The decision being made, life continued. One evening, you hear a light knocking at your door. Quite a rare occurrence. Peeking through the window, you witness none other than the Witch of the Woods standing on the doorstep of your humble hut. Could she be here for a visit? Or to settle a debt? Oh God, is she gonna take my life now? Introduce her to your daughter. Privately request a stipend. No, I will introduce her. A stipend, my finances are 8. They're fine. Perhaps it was time for your daughter to meet the witch. She could maybe even learn a thing or two. The two of you answer the door and invite the gloomy woman inside for dry and awkward small talk. Something about the way the two absently stare at each other. You wonder if they've made some sort of connection today. The decision being made, life continued. The day's gotten away from you. Already the sun's gentle descent is being swallowed behind the forest's reach. You weren't able to finish everything you set out for today, but you only have time for one more chore. Purchase new construction materials. Finish a favor the village's leader asked of you. Barter for some fine substrates to better grow your daughter. Grab a lead and take your daughter for a walk. Or retire to the tavern. I am going to try and barter because our nutrients is only at 2 and I don't know what happens if we reach 0, but I really don't want to find out. An amateur mycologist in the village recently informed you that he had some new supplies that may interest you. After deciding to take him up on the offer, you come to the conclusion after a brief meeting that he was right. You take home a fine new pouch of soil, and he takes some of your hard-earned coin. So now our nutrients are at 6, our finances are at 4, and our stamina is at 1. We haven't used our stamina, so I'm curious to see what may bite me in the butt in the future. Here we go. Something's happening. Child? Whoa. Your daughter has changed in the night. Huh? She's so cute. One morning, you notice that your daughter is nowhere to be seen. Eventually, you discover her hiding in a narrow crevice under a large stump. To your surprise, the creature had now taken the form of a young girl. You feel relieved to confirm that the witch hadn't betrayed you. At your approach, she retreats shyly into the hole. She doesn't seem scared, but doesn't want to leave. Wait for her, buy her a nice gift to celebrate, encourage her to come out. I'll wait. I'll be patient. Your daughter seems intent on hiding, so you decide not to disturb her. Taking a seat near the stump, you appreciate the beauty of the forest and spend time thinking lovingly of your daughter. Oh. After several long hours, just as you were starting to reconsider waiting, she creeps out of the hole. Whatever she was doing in there, it seems she is content for now. The decision being made, life continued. While sitting at home one day, you hear an unexpected knock at the door. Unfortunately, when you go to answer, you find yourself face to face with a man that you never wished to see again. Though he was older now, the scar running down from his cheek was unmistakable. No, is this like future or a previous maybe husband or lover or someone, maybe of my previous daughter, or a debt collector of some sort? It took me a while to find you this time, recluse. The sound of his voice sends a long-forgotten chill down your spine. This man is your former business partner from a time when you did work that was less than admirable. I'm sure all this time alone has given you plenty of time to reflect. Are you finally ready to get back to business? Kill the man. Whoa, that just went from 0 to 60. That went from 0 to 100. Beg the man to leave you alone. No. Agree to do business with the man? Doesn't seem like I would want to. Give the man a significant sum of money to go away. Man, the best option, I think, is the beg. Which I don't want to beg, but I don't want to pay him off. I feel like that sets a bad precedent. Killing, probably not a good thing to do. And I don't want to acquiesce and just go into business with him. So I'm going to say, please respect my wishes. Clearly I left for a reason. Leave me alone. You are older now than you ever were before. Things that used to suit you no longer do. Though it's not something you find yourself prone to doing, you drop to your knees and clasp your hands together. You explain that you're a parent now. There is a reason you live outside of society, and you would appreciate it if he simply allows you to continue the way you are now. He listens to your words carefully, and his response comes slowly. I suppose I'll accept that. But only if you kiss my boot. Do you kiss the man's boot? What the hell, man? No. No. No, I'm not gonna do that. You respect my wishes because I am worthy of that respect. You're coming to me as a former business partner? Come on. Though you were desperate to avoid further dealings with the man, you would not subject yourself to such degradation. Your response brought a smirk to his face. Then I think you'll find you don't have much of a choice, partner. He slaps your shoulder playfully, then turns away from you. Here, take this as an advanced payment. I'll be seeing you again soon. You watch him walk away. Hopefully this won't present too much of a problem for you in the future. My hubris, but the thought of doing that, even in a video game, just causes my spine to just, ugh. Never. You awaken only to discover that your daughter is covered in tiny parasitic creatures. For the sake of her health, you should probably find a way to get rid of the little pests. Buy some fine herbal pesticides. Encourage her to embrace the change. Wow, dark. She's all organic. Leave them be. I will give the child a thorough rinse. After a moment of contemplation, you gather the requisite components for a soapy bath. Your daughter, thankfully, seems to enjoy the experience. The creatures are dealt with, and my stamina is now a question mark. The decision being made, life continued. An end? One night, you find yourself struggling to sleep. Your mind wanders as you consider your current place in life. You've lived peacefully with your daughter for many moons. Initially, it was strange. Well, it never stopped being strange, but you were always thankful for the company. The spring and the mushroom are gone. Besides, the affection you felt for her was like any parent would feel toward their child. That was normal, at least. Your thoughts turned to the concept of time, particularly how you were once alone, and how you are afraid that you will be again someday. Your daughter has more and more curiosities about the outside world. It's only a matter of time before she wants to strike her own path. You hope you will be fulfilled now. You hope you've done enough. Ultimately, you find comfort in what you've done. You may have had many failures in your life, but there's one thing you know you can die proud of. Off-putting trait, gain trait shy, and a new beginning. Oh, telling the recluse, wait, are we the mushroom now? Telling the recluse that you wanted to see more of the world wasn't an easy conversation. As they grew older, you were worried about leaving them on their own. Thankfully, your concerns were unwarranted. They were happy that you had grown enough to want to move out. They even offered to help you build your own home. Offered you to build your own home close to theirs. You were welcome to visit any time, obviously. Faster than you would have anticipated, the two of you built your home together. They showed you all of the tricks they knew and made sure to impart as much knowledge as they possibly could. Finally, the day arrived. You were officially on your own. You were scared a little, but also excited. It felt like a new chapter was just beginning for you. Oh, loving parent. What? Chapter 3, a girl on her own. Pepita, a common pumpkin hairy mycena. I am not common. Look at how cute I'm so cute. And now we're in summer. Ooh. There's a knock at your door. When you go to answer it, you see a woman dressed in somewhat a tacky dress. Oh, hi. I'm from the nearby town, and I came here on behalf of all the local mothers. This introduction leaves you feeling a little uneasy. As she continues speaking, you sense she's clearly feeling the emotion of fear. We were hoping that we could convince you to come out and show off a little for the kids, show them the real you. Is that something you'd be interested in? We could provide lunch, obviously. Also, really fast, let me just turn off my face so you can see on the screen. My stats now are a little bit more complex. We have dampness, mycelium, robustness, potency, and humanity. So, as a mushroom, I am concerned with slightly different things, it looks like, than my recluse parent was. After some more nervous chat, the woman writes down a location on a small piece of paper and thrusts it in your hands. Afterwards, she all but runs away. You consider the strange woman and her strange invitation. You suppose you'll attend? Nope. What? Why nope? Can I not pick this? Let me try. Okay, so I can pick that, even though it said nope on it. I also figured not going to the party because it feels weird to go to a party to show my real form. I don't know. It feels very, I'm blanking on the word because it's really hot today and the heat is making my brain fuzzy, but not tokenism, but sort of tokeny, sort of like almost that sideshow kind of vibe where it's like, let's all come voyeuristic. I don't know. It just doesn't feel good, even though it's for a kid's party. Like doesn't feel right. Humans. One big one is bad enough, but the thought of subjecting yourself to a bunch of small ones seems like torture. Besides, you don't trust that woman. She seemed like she was up to something. Instead, you spend the day minding your own business, a good use of time, you find. You are awoken in the middle of the night by a loud crash from your kitchen. You scramble to investigate and finally catch the source of the racket. A man hunched over in pain in the middle of your cooking nook. He spots you and seems to panic, waving his hands around. Wait, it's not what it looks like. Well, it's exactly what it looks like, but I injured myself, so I'm no longer pursuing that plan. Why don't you bless a poor fool and choose to excuse my rudeness? An injured thief is still a thief, kick him out. Well, why? I'll excuse his rudeness and ask what's going on, hopefully, and maybe send him on his way and he won't steal from me again, because maybe I did a nice thing and he is going to consider himself kind of done with me at that point. With a sigh, you help the man to a more comfortable seating situation. Also, again, yeah, I'm curious. Why would you steal in general, but why would you also steal from me when it seems like other people may be afraid of me? It appears that he may have injured his leg somehow in a fall. After a short while, he seems more comfortable moving around. Thank you kindly for the help, ma'am. He seems appreciative and shockingly charismatic. He gives you a sly grin and a wave before leaving you to your own business. All right. As you take an evening stroll through the nearby woods, you happen to overhear something of a loud commotion. When you approach the noise, you're able to see the situation more clearly. 2 teenage miscreants seem to be harassing a child. Give the teens a scare. I don't want others in my forest. Get them all out of here. Try to solve the situation diplomatically. Leave them to their own devices. I am going to give the teens a scare. That child needs help, and you're pretty sure you know a good way to do that. Ooh, and we have a dice roll. I did not know we'd have a dice roll for that. You situate yourself carefully, stepping forward and grabbing one of the teens by the shoulder. After taking a quick second to ready yourself, you let out a throaty yell, giving the teen a good shove. They react instantly, scrambling away into the woods. The child, initially paralyzed in fear, visibly untenses when he sees you smiling back at him. He timidly waves at you, which you return before stepping back into the woods without a word. I hope I get a reputation as a kind, mysterious mushroom daughter. You know, it's like the thief. I didn't do anything to hurt him. Just sent him on his way after making sure his leg was okay. This child, I protected. The sun is low in the sky, casting a beautiful warm tint across everything you see. Today, it's a particularly beautiful sight. Blossoming fruit trees and the wind blowing through the grass. Your eyes feel heavy, and suddenly you find yourself falling into a deep, deep sleep. In your dreams, you're sitting on a tree branch. There's a flute playing somewhere. Then suddenly, the flute is next to you. Attached to it is the vague shape of a woman. I haven't seen you around here before. Welcome. When you go to look at her, it feels like she shifts. You can't quite describe her. You probably won't remember me when you wake up, but it's nice to meet you. After sitting in silence, she starts playing again. I can try to memorize this place, and I can ask her, where do you go when I'm awake? I can fly. Oh, sing along. I love that. We're going to sing along. You close your eyes, absently singing along with the flute. Your voice sounds beautiful. Things could not be more perfect. Eventually, before you know it, your eyes are opening. Oh, my humanity raised there. Okay. It's dark out. You should be getting home. You feel a crisp breeze. The heat is relenting. The trees are changing in color. Fall has arrived. Autumn! While aimlessly wandering one day, you decide that the best use of your time would be to do some scouting. It's always useful to expand your mental map of the area. The country near your home is lush, with many diverse landscapes to be found. You decide to head to the north, toward a particularly damp, dense forest that's home to a variety of useful plants. As a child, this is where you knew to get medicine plants from, but there was danger there as well. You step into the forest, feeling a humid breeze on your fungal cheek. There's an omnipresent buzz of insects pervading the air. This section of forest feels much different than where you live, and you find that it's hard to feel at peace. Despite this, the flora and fauna is resplendent. You find yourself looking from plant to plant. Finally, you see something quite interesting. Ooh. A beautiful, large pink flower stands tall in a nearby clearing. The petals are twisted, forming a large sparkling bud that's larger than your head. The single flower is the distinction of the plant, but you observe that its stalk is robust and strangely segmented. It feels a bit like a monolith. For a moment, you simply stand and stare at it. Something about this strange plant leaves you with a feeling of awe. You suspect that you may be able to sell this flower in the market for quite a pretty penny, or perhaps keep its splendor for yourself. Do we pick it? Do we leave it? I feel like, just to see what happens, I'm going to pick it. I feel like it probably won't be good, but I'm going to try it. If in time, left alone, the flower would eventually die here. When you think about it, there's really no harm in taking it from these woods. Sure. Oh my gosh, famous last words. Without spending too long in thought, you walk up to the plant and grab the flower by the stem. But when you do so, the flower opens its eye. This understandably gives you quite a shock. You leap back, seeing the flower unfold in front of your eyes. It takes you a moment of processing to understand, but finally you make the connection. This is not a plant at all. It is a beast. Its eye is large, still haloed by the petals that had initially attracted you. To be frank, it's hard to entirely understand the shape of it in the commotion. You do understand that it has a hefty central mass, mossy green, and camouflaged with stems and stalks. You also come to understand that this body itself is not a solid form, as it splits horizontally down the middle. Whoa. I'm trying to visualize that. Inside is an array of sharp and uneven white stones. In another second, you understand these two. Oh, teeth! Ah! My gosh, this is so cool. Before it could make itself even more known to you, you figured it was time to do something. Okay, do I try to fight? I don't think I have the strength. We're gonna flee. Simply put, there was absolutely nothing worth sticking around the situation for. Ooh. 6. Easy breezy. As soon as the impulse hits you, you take off. The unfamiliarity of this terrain barely matters to you as you let your feet guide your path. Finally, as you reach the edge of the forest, you collapse as the exhilaration passes you. The thing had stopped giving pursuit ages ago, and yet you still kept running until now. Perhaps at a certain point it became more about the excitement of the chase? Nevertheless, you are safe. You make your way home thinking about the strange creature you had encountered. Ooh, my robustness increased, I think. The mountains bordering the northern reaches of the forest call to you. You see them every day on your adventures, and there is an overwhelming desire to climb them that simply cannot be ignored. Readying yourself in the early hours of the morning, you glance over the materials you have on hand. Pack light, pack heavy, don't pack. In fact, just don't go. Nope. Let's pack light. You carefully choose each item based on its weight, size, and usefulness, and we passed that dice roll. Your pack sits comfortably on your shoulders and allows for your full range of movement. And with your pack all set, you make your way out to the mountain. After a couple hours of climbing, you feel like you've made some decent progress, though you're starting to get a bit tired. Just as you think it's time for a break, you come across a beautiful mountain spring, complete with its own waterfall. Ooh. Let's take a shower. We're not in a rush. The waterfall's frigid embrace leaves your skin numb and joints stiff. Fail! Oh no! You take a moment to rest in the sun to warm yourself, but end up falling asleep. At least you're not sweaty anymore. You wake up in the mountain forest that night. Let's spend the night. I don't want to climb in the dark. Your camp is inadequate, for an overnight stay. Rather than starve in the woods, you drag yourself back home, upset you couldn't finish climbing. No! As you go out to forage mushrooms one evening, you find a large batch of edible shrooms gathered near a stump. Unfortunately, upon closer inspection, they are infested with countless small worms. Watch the wriggly little guys for a bit, gather the worms, say it's protein, Hakuna Matata, let's eat them anyway, or try to find a slightly less infested batch. I want to watch the wriggly guys. 7, heck yes. While crouching down, you take some time to watch the worms squirm and munch on the mushrooms. But after a while, you spot a worm far larger than the others. It even has a tiny maw filled with similarly tiny teeth. How cute. It wiggles up to you and doesn't immediately bite you, so you scoop it up and bring it home. No harm in having a new pet after all. Besides, things with tons of teeth can always be useful allies. Trait a little wormy. A chilling breeze greets you one morning, heralding the approach of winter. With the end of the year approaching, you find yourself considering your aspirations. You want to accomplish something significant, you decide. Something you'll remember. Take on a dangerous quest, attend a charming event at the gala, decide not to pursue anything. Well, out of the 3, let's go to the gala. Recently, you've garnered enough attention in the area to be invited to a high-class event. This could be an opportunity to celebrate the year or invite someone you wish to grow closer with. Girl of your dreams, the person who raised you. Oh, that's kind of a nice, round full circle moment. Let's do that. There's time for romance later. You know that the recluse is not a fan of crowds. However, the thought of attending the gala with them appeals to you. Besides, you couldn't imagine a better person to laugh at normal humans with. The gala isn't until the end of the year. That should be plenty of time to pay the recluse a visit. Walking through the forest one day, you think to take a path yet untraveled. The road you follow is old. Time-worn rivulets and fresh dung pock the path as underbrush chokes it from either side. Regardless, the smell of adventure hangs in the air, and it smells wonderful. Oh, can we go on a successful adventure? The mountain climbing incident was a bit of a bust. The wind carries a fragrance clear into your heart and stirs it with an intense curiosity. Before long, you find another, even tighter path branching off from where you're walking, and soon you break out into a glade. The area is smaller than a hut, but in the center of its intimate bow stands a statue long since forgotten. Ooh, I'm definitely examining the statue. The statue is of a woman. The craftsmanship alone is worth commending. The proportions are incredibly lifelike. The figure's hair is short but detailed, with every strand perfectly held in place. And there's a pain in the statue's eyes, one of loss and grief. It seems, standing there, that she's almost making eye contact with you. Suddenly aware of your surroundings, you feel a slight discomfort on the breeze and cast your eyes away from the girl's stare. Underneath, a plaque makes up the base of a skeleton. Without the skill to read, however, you can only surmise that this is a grave marker, one for a girl long lost to the world. You pause for a moment before turning your attention back to the glade at large. It feels as though there's a presence watching you from behind the trees, but you chalk it up to nerves. All right, let's look at the glade. While the opening is small, there's still enough room to wander around. Trees on all sides prevent you from leaving the way you came, and a thick canopy prevents light from flooding in, leaving only the spare ray of illumination. There really isn't much to the glade aside from the plants littering the forest floor, several different herbs that have been cultivated to produce sublime results. You meander around the glade, eventually finding a plant you originally mistook for a bush. Its branches are heavy, and the primary source of the fragrance you caught is on the wind. Fragrant rosemary. You break off a piece, enamored by the aroma, and store it on your person. Alright, I guess we're done with the glade. Feeling as though there are eyes watching you, you gather and head back towards more familiar paths. While on your way to gather firewood, you find that your world is suddenly turned upside down, quite literally. After a second of disorientation, you suss out that you somehow walked yourself right into a trap. Your foot is above you, caught in a thick rope length, or loop. You call for help, hoping someone is nearby. Thankfully, that seems to be the case. Oh, is it going to be the person who set the trap, though? It's the thief who attempted to rob you in the night. Why, hello there, he greets. You seem a little high-strung today. His joke falls flat on you. Nonetheless, he's quick to help cut you down. Sorry for the inconvenience. I wasn't trying to catch you. I'll tell you what, to make up for it, plus the attempted robbery the other night, why don't I teach you a thing or two? Of course, my areas of knowledge are rather narrow. I do like learning. You consider the rogue's offer and realize that you have no reason to decline. Your chore wasn't time sensitive, so you agreed to shadow the man for the rest of your day. The two of you get up to many hijinks, and you discover that though the man does have a penchant for thievery, he seemed to try his best to avoid overt cruelty. You also discover many useful tricks along the way, even if most of them are not entirely lawful. You return to your home that night with a promise that you could tag along with him again anytime you so choose. Ooh, got a trait for that. You leave your home in the later hours of the morning one day, only to set upon a strange woman not too far from your front door. It's immediately apparent that she doesn't notice you. Heck, she may not even notice the house that's just right there. But as it stands, the slender, bespectacled woman has her gaze locked to the sky. She'd be a statue if not for the periodic wave of the hand setting errant strands of silver back into a messy ponytail. Watching her for a moment, you stand to reason that maybe something's wrong. Plus, she looks harmless enough. Maybe she's worth approaching. Okay, we can play it safe, attempt to scare her off. I'm going to say, "Can I help you?" The woman whirls around, caught off guard by your sudden appearance. "Oh, I'm sorry," she stammers before catching a good look at you. "Oh, my, you're an interesting creature, aren't you?" Her inquisition borders heavily on the familiar, but you let it slide. "Are you by chance the mycelial maiden of these woods? I've heard so much about you. It's such a shame I'm pursuing other interests right now. I would so much love to study you." "Sorry, is that weird? That's weird, right?" The woman pushes back a series of stray hairs, smiling sweetly through thin lips and eyes that glitter like velvet gems. It's almost enthralling. "All right, then. I should introduce myself. My name's Celia. I suppose, what you'd call a scholar of sorts. I study all sorts of creatures, both mythical and speculative, ranging from all sorts of quasi-humanoid beings to amorphous energies. My primary field of study is in the realm of the Fae. Tricky little friends, I'll tell you what. Lately, I've been trying to uncover traces of this cheeky bugger, a Fae prince by the name of Cupid. I don't suppose you've seen a foul-mouthed baby flying around shooting at people, have you? Is that a riddle? Celia put a finger to her chin. I do suppose it sounds odd, huh? Still, there is that little gremlin around here. There is that little gremlin around here somewhere. My sources have provided me with good intel, I assure you. I guess I could let you know if I see something? Oh, that would be wonderful. It definitely seems to be a lost cause looking for him here anyway. I'll tell you what. Kayla? Kayla, maybe? Maybe Celia? I'll say Kayla. Kayla? Kayla hands you a small handbell made of lightly glowing bone. Take this and ring it if you find him. Of course, if you find anything else of interest, I would be thrilled to be notified. Holding the handbell, you gave it a light jiggle. To your surprise, it rings out spectacularly. See, okay. While I'm sure she is a scholar, I think my question ultimately comes down to, what are you researching Cupid and the Fae for? Because there are a lot of places where scholarly things were done maybe without the best of ethics in mind. So yeah, I will hopefully be able to choose, if we do catch Cupid, whether or not to ring the bell once it happens. And you know, Kalia leans in close. If you'd ever like a little studying of your own, well... Kayla's face begins to turn red as she looks away, hand on cheek and stifling a giggle. Is that like flirtation? Are you just like... What is going on? Nothing. Don't be a stranger now. Yeah, was that a flirtatious smile? With a grin, she saunters away. You're left feeling a myriad of emotions, though a single question remains. You're not gonna, like, get shot by a baby just walking about, right? Oh, is it snowing? One afternoon while sitting at home, you realize something. Today is the day of the town's year-end gala. This was something you've been anticipating. You were thrilled when your parent agreed to join you. They must be on their way now. Chapter 4. The Recluse's Big Night Out. Oh, now we're the recluse again. The stats are back. When your daughter had suddenly suggested that you attend a large social function in town, you were a little torn. You knew that you had to do it, in the same sense you would have had to do any silly little thing she asked because she's your child and you love her. But this? Simply put, you're unsure where she gets her taste for such things. It's surely not from you. As the sun approached its zenith, you knew you'd be arriving at her home at any moment. Then the two of you could share the walk to town. Though you are regularly forced to make brief visits to the village, you do your best to avoid the hustle and bustle of the more populated areas. Tonight would be an exception. Finally, you could see a dot of pumpkin in the distance. Pepita. Greet her with a hug. Nice pat. I'm going to greet her with a hug. As she approaches, you rush up and greet her with a tight hug. The two of you decide to begin the long walk to the location of the gala. The most direct path has you passing through the village, a walk that the two of you have taken together quite often. This evening, the town is lively. Many seem to be making preparations for the gala, and you find that your daughter's attention has been thoroughly captured by someone selling floral accessories. You will find that our corsages are the finest in all the land, the salesman claims. You find yourself dubious, but Pepita has a sparkle in her eye. You know what? It's New Year's. Let's buy it for her. Oh, what the hell? The girl so rarely seeks out material goods, you feel as though she deserves a little treat. You take the coins from your purse and, much to her surprise, purchase one of the flowered bracelets. Without further ado, you slip it onto her arm. Thankfully, it's a natural fit. The salesman thanks you, and your daughter continue the trek. With the matter settled, the two of you finished your comfortable walk to the estate that the gala was held at. You find yourself thinking about this event. It's one that you have heard about for many years, yet you've never felt the urge to learn more. As the large building entered your sight, you can't help but think that you'd rather avoid it. Alas, it was out of your hands. Thankfully, your daughter looked pleased enough for the both of you. Whoops. Before you, I think I double clicked it. Sorry if I did. Oh, wait, here we have history. Oh, balls. I thought I was clicking. Okay. As you enter, your senses are overwhelmed with all the things that humans do at events like this. Musicians in the corner chirping away on their instruments, the wafting aroma of food and drink far fancier than you're used to. A wonderland of human creation, by humans, for humans. Sometimes you feel as though you don't fit into the category or that you must not if you don't enjoy such things. But for now, you overlook the man-made chaos. You and Pepita wander the gala for a while, familiarizing yourself with the locale. Finally, after getting a good look at everything, you find yourself tiring. You sit at a table and Pepita sits by you. While sitting, you and your daughter can't help but overhear some of the concerning nearby chatter. It would appear that a dance-off is about to take place. Unfortunately, a dance-off does not seem to be referring to turning dancing off. Evidently, it's some manner of intense tournament where the last dancers left standing win. You can see the gears in Pepita's head spinning. She wants to participate in the contest, no doubt. But you're not sure you can do it. Dance-off? You know what? Our stamina is questionable, but I'm gonna just go for it. No. You cannot believe you have reared a child that desires not only to dance, but to dance in a competition with you. You also cannot believe you want to do it for her, despite your many concerns. Having a kid changes you, or so I hear. The panic fills your head and chest, and you do your best to push it away. You try to repeat the mantra, "It's for her," which helps. You stand casually dusting your shoulder off and tell her you are prepared. When you arrive at the dance floor, you are surprised by the number of participants. Probably 200 people stand before you. And you are supposed to dance for longer than any of them? The judge of the contest stands tall, wearing a colorful scarf to distinguish them from the crowd. The rules are simple. The last duo dancing wins. Now let's hear it for the band. As they finish speaking, the band leaps to life. Loud, melodic music fills the dance floor as the participants begin to dance. Now all that's left is to dance. Cut the rug. As you put your left foot in and your right foot out, you find the heat. You feel in your brain overwhelming. For a moment, everything goes numb. Then you realize you are looking up from the floor. Pepita's eyes are full of concern, that which barely dissipates as you sit upright. All around you, dancers continue to dance. The bubble around you and Pepita is small, barely enough to prevent your limbs from being danced over or on. Nevertheless, the show goes on, you suppose. You stand, dusting yourself off. The pain you feel as a result of your dancing comes as a surprise. You'd have to take it easy tomorrow. My nutrients and stamina are at a question mark, so it's not looking good. Though the girl is clearly a little disappointed, she doesn't seem to blame you for your body's failings. Perhaps you're not as young as you used to be. She helps you up, and the two of you return home. Chapter 3, again. Getting back early was something you had realistically expected, which you think helps avoid disappointment. At least you knew the recluse made it back safely. As you grow older, you look back over your life. You think back to the witch who created you, and you can't help but wonder if everything met her expectations. You wonder if you're the daughter your parents had hoped for. Ending after all this time. Pepita, after all this time, you have grown up. Oh. Reputation, relative obscurity. Oh, that's funny. Oh my god, I love this. Congratulations on finishing your first run of Mushroom Musume. Musume? You've discovered one of over 30 endings available in the demo version of the game. We encourage you... Oh, wait, 30 endings just in the demo? We encourage you to experiment a little while growing your next daughter, just to see how different she can turn out. Be sure to check your almanac if you want to check your progress. Whoop. So if we go in here, we can see our daughter. Off-putting and shy. Very cute. We've got plenty in this demo to keep you busy farming for a while, but I thought I'd also tell you a bit about what awaits players in the full game. We're excited to be working on a new system of mini games for you to play between sessions. Each grown daughter earns you spores, which then can be used to purchase mushroomy gardening supplies. What you grow in your garden can help shape future daughters, allowing players a little more control over her outcome, or even eventually allowing you to jump right into the third act. That's cool. Not in a gardening mood? Then your hard-earned spores can be gambled away in exchange for rare goodies. How mysterious. Don't you want to know what you'll get? We're also hard at work writing. The full game will have double the word count and double the amount of story content, including an expanded overarching plot. Delve into a dungeon, find a town bustling with fungal life, or maybe even destroy the Witch of the Woods for good, if you want. Ooh. Oh, cute! Not to mention never before seen Mushroom Girls, a cavalcade of new music, even some unique collectibles that are something else entirely. We are aiming to release the full game in the first part of 2025. Wishlist us on Steam to keep up with the newest news. Plus, it helps us out a lot. P.S. Since we're going to be buffing the core gameplay loop, players won't be able to transfer their progress from the demo version. You'll get a little bonus in exchange at least. Just thought you'd like to know. Thanks for playing. Wowee, that's so good. I think this is what a dream to play. I feel like this would be the perfect before bed game. It feels like you're reading an interactive fairy tale. It's so chill. It's so cute. I love the subtlety of the art in terms of just how it's once you have the UI there, the changes are minimal. The movement is minimal, even though the pixel art is quite what is the word? It's not lush, but there's a lot of detail to enjoy, like the details in the border, the detail in the mushroom portraits, the sort of pixelified photos is what it feels like in sort of the main area. And I want to highlight Mushroom Musume is out currently, so I'm playing the demo just to like play the demo, but you can play the demo, give it a try, see if you like it. But also, it came out June 20th, 2025 by Mortally Moonstruck Games. I'm gonna go pick up the full thing right now. This is just so good. And this is, again, the perfect before bed. I'm hoping it's Steam Deck compatible. And just playing this on your Steam Deck, that sounds like the dream, honestly. So I am looking, and I don't know if it's Steam Deck verified. Let me see. Okay, it looks like it is. It looks like it's Steam Deck verified, or at least it's compatible with Steam Deck, so heck yes. And so far, at least on Steam, it seems like the reviews are quite positive. People have multiple hours saying that they're loving exploring and discovering the different mushrooms, and I am very excited to do the same. There seems to be a lot to collect and enjoy, and the addition of the little mini games is kind of nice to help break up a lot of that reading and narrative. But honestly, I don't think they really needed it. It's just like a really nice to have. So yeah, that is Mushroom Musume. So good, so cute, dark and twisty fairy tale. I hope you enjoyed watching this. Go support the team. Go pick up the game if you're interested, or play the demo if you want to discover a few more mushroom daughters. And if you would like, you can find me here and on TikTok. I also have Instagram and Twitch, although I'm less active on those two platforms currently. And I am also quite active with my game club, Geeks and Grounds. It is a video game club where we run it kind of like a book club, where we play one game a month. We have thoughtful conversations around what we're playing, and we try to slow down and savor games a little bit more and enjoy them as a community, and maybe get a little more out of them through those conversations. And you can go to geeksandgrounds.com to find out more about that. But yeah, that is it. All right. Thank you, everybody. I will see you in the next video. Bye.